you set up the bar that's sort of explained everything. You guys are going to so we so or to go I'm trying to figure out. I appreciate. Yeah, I think I was kind of following on my past. Fantastic. Right. It just. Okay. So, good morning, everybody. My name is Jack Bradham. I am a senior solutions architect for AWS. My focus is generative AI, and as you guys already mentioned, I work in the Florida area, based out of Key West, Florida, which I grew up in. You guys a little bit. And if you want me to stand up, like this is the science I have. This is it. Doesn't get any better. Exxon is where it makes it really important that we remind ourselves as we come to work every day that we have sort of built our business on AI, right? So all the recommendation engines pointed out, like we make those recommendations to use the time. What folks don't know is that everything we do from source to actually the landing product on your report is done completely by AI. So the robots that we made up, we go from one place to another, the supply chains, all that stuff. And that's some things. Okay. All right, so we'll talk about we'll do the advancing however we do. So a lot of times on this presentation, I will call my mom. We synthesize spot, as David sort of pointed out, and I'll talk to her. She say that really talk. There will be while I was on vacation, my kids took a picture of me. For Reliance, what I'll blame when I really you should love me. Said no, it's already love for Jack. And it can do essentially everything that I want it to do, right? It can write my codes for me. It can bring Elvis back, which I think is pretty awesome. Or it can do critical area and Williams out of Charlotte, my hometown, inside of it's pretty. Okay, so I think we all at this point understand what generative AI is. I think what's more important, we get quick clip. I don't know. I have animation subject. Well, Jack, they got to see it point at something. Okay, open fine. Okay. So I think it's important to ask yourself why is it, right? And I want to tell you a little story. When I was a kid, 7 years old, the only thing I wanted to do was draw a race, right? My mom gave a class where we grew and he learned from all. It was fantastic. Only the person I gave was kind of class Dave. Very good as ours. Dave could draw anything. I was very frustrated for me because I wanted to be a better drawer. And so I went to my teacher and said, hey, why can David draw better than me? And he said, because David has a clear vision about what he wants to draw. And at that point, I needed to do that I wasn't going to have that clear picture. And that David would possibly always get better artists than I am. And so this brings us to the point of why AI is going to stay around, can't get rid of it. Why, while despite the concerns, it will be. And it's because it helps us create when we are having trouble doing so. And that's why so many customers are interested. Okay, so customers want to be competitive. They ask me every day about that's what we'll talk about. Because I want to be very practical today as we approach this on the cybersecurity. But they're very worried about the security of it. So from a practical perspective, what we're interested in thinking about talking about is how you can make use of these technologies that will help you create when you can't, right? When you can't write the code that you want to write, when you can't augment a picture, change it, when you want to, or even when you want to bring help a second, right? So it's fun to talk about all the bad stuff, right? It's what gets me excited, right? Like that's the things that going on. And why wouldn't it be exciting to talk about all that stuff? So war can be anything that can be still 240,000 euros from an executive who gets paid by some phone calls, right? That's pretty good. Or how about Larry 5 that Sweden consider what we could do with and that it's really not that difficult to do, as David pointed out. You can make a synthesized voice in just a few minutes. I normal demo with 11 laps. Takes me about 5 minutes worth of talking, and I can produce a voice that's fast and close enough with the melody, as they say about voice, to pull my throat mother. She is 75, but and you know, that's possible. Now, I don't think it's all bad. I think it's important to say that it's not all bad. That there are a lot of different reasons about generative AI and AI in general can be as much of a force for good. It provides security protections if used adequately. They can be to provide barrier. So here's the sort of the nick though. Here's the problem, right? We have common tools that people are using today that are commonly thought of. We don't have to be thought of. So when we look at this from perspective of how do I protect my asset from attack? Right? What do I do to take care of this? What do I do to ensure that I am not putting myself at risk? The cool thing is, there's not apologize. There's only 20 or 30 enterprise workloads that people are looking at. So many thousands of ways people are using generative AI. But what I want to try to do today is just be very pragmatic about our approach, right? The use cases that come up currently are generally the low things. Right? There's 5 or 6 different workloads that people are approaching these days from the enterprise perspective, the governmental perspective, that we're really focused. So here's the other thing to consider while we think about these workloads that are being generated or commonplace that we talk about today, and that you connect, is that foundational models alone cannot execute tasks. And this is just another way to say generative AI solutions are not just generative AI, right? Talking about data earlier, there may be 1% of this. All the other stuff that goes into these architectures still exists. So, what are the practical strategies to approach these problems? How do we keep the data that you're using to run your business or run your government place or anything safe? So, there are some protections. Everyone always asks me about this. I think that's an important thing to consider. There's a lot of evidence, but that doesn't mean that there is essentially no protection. Education can be very helpful in your enterprise. So are you looking at training the folks who are actually managing your contact centers? Are your contacts providing things like callbacks or third-party information? Or even another thing that we introduced at Amazon is having interface liveness, where 50% is with the user's actual video feed, right? Which is very common because they understand fans or in the school where there's actually a comparison of your face and the face that's actually on video. meaning like a picture or something like that, we can determine very quickly if that's actually a lot first. So this is a place where these AI technologies are actually helping us prevent these fraud actions. It's actually pretty good at it. So I encourage you when you think about these things, not to be panicked by the concept, but rather to implement the very common techniques that are available. We have these solutions, Microsoft, Google, other companies have these solutions as well. It's just a matter of whether we're going to take advantage. If you're a cybersecurity professional, probably these workflows, again, not very complicated. I won't go through this in this audience, but they're vague. Code generation. How many of you guys are in coding classes or any students? You're there. When you get a great guy, do you write code anymore? My wife is a math professor at college, and she got to take over. They got to continue education. She said, "Hey, how do you do this coding project? We got down." So she begins talking code all the time. She's a bit her time. She goes, "Yeah, it's that's the last graduate." So the concept of using objects code is that, right? What do we get at the vulnerability, and what are the risks of doing that? I don't know. You could copy some code into your code, right? That is as a group, as a whole, right? That's a problem. We don't like licensing. They own our copy of your code and bulk it for a lot of people still on that. And then bias, right? What if like some of those solutions that have been released share your algorithm or your has a bias split and search. You need to figure out how to eliminate that risk as a cybersecurity professional, knowing that this is happening. Because now we have tools that will literally write code. What Microsoft has on, we have ours is called Code Whisperer. I don't know. You can add it to your environment, whether your environment needs to be code or media. You just add it to your environment, and code generation will occur. You prompt it to do something cool, and it makes that. Yep. Okay, so you prompted, say, hey, write code for me, and Code Whisperer would echo very cool, right? So AWS would really love to help you write code, not just copy code, but basically running that very quick. And this is a part of the generative AI revolution, actually create code for you. You know, the problem is we don't want to incur the risks that come along with that problem. So what we've done is introduce paragraph tracking into code whisperers. So if at any point the code is familiar or similar to some code listening data, we can then extract that and tell you exactly where that code came from. So good news, you can actually copy code now very safely and actually reference it back. Right? So no more cheat. And what if there's a vulnerability in that? Like what we want to do is make sure that we are aware of that. Right? So as you go across these practical approaches, folks are going to copy code. If there's security vulnerability in that code, we need to actively scan it for that vulnerability. And we want to do it for all environments, for all code types. Now, one of the more popular scenarios, and I know I'm on the spot, I'm sure more in here, but one of those scenarios that I see on a daily basis is content creating, right? And I've tried to do some of those, not just code gen this morning, or not just code gen in previous slide, but also we create pictures, create text, little poems. You can realistically do all types of content creation, and I include things like natural language query that folks come to us for as well. So folks come and say, hey, I just want to send a prompt to my large language model. I want to do a RAG virtue augmented generation with that. So I pointed at my database or at my knowledge base, and I want to look across those documents and return back to me not only the information that is found, but I'm going to return it back in a way that's very understandable. So this occurs with chatbots, etc. So what is the benefit of doing this? We can instantly, as Gen AI professionals, create content and become very, very productive, very fluid, right? And also increase the customer experience. Remember, this shows up in chatbots a lot. So chatbot starts loading, connects out to a large language model, generates query, or generates a search that then runs on a backend database, knowledge base, etc. Right? It could be patient records, could be the data warehouse for the company, could be the data lake, right? So in doing so, recognizing results, violating model responds to its result. We have committed this opportunity for IP, personal identifiable information, leakage, or just proprietary information. Right? You start scanning a knowledge base, you will find proprietary information. So, how do we protect against that? Restrict, classify, redact, filter, and monitor. And this is a place where actually AI can be involved a great service. So again, foundational models cannot execute tasks alone. And what that means is in those data pipelines, you're going to have to use additional products. You're going to have to use some additional. Now, again, we have these Microsoft as focus hours is on AWS versions, restrict access. Right? I cannot tell you how many companies I reach and talk to who we use, say, S3 storage or databases in the platform. And the concept of least privilege is literally not it. Right? So simply just don't do it. I had a call with a customer last week. They run a lot of restaurants. I'll just say that. We are setting up permissions for their database, or their reporting to query their data sets through a proxy. The proxy needed permission to see the data in the data set. I think I have to one. Right? So it sort of looks like this. QuickSight's talking to Athena. Athena has all the permissions set up to understand what codes, what columns, what cells should be available back to the tools. Right? Athena itself, though, has permission only through it as a service back to the data source. Sharing this with the customer, made a lot of time to develop this model for simple permissions before we actually even get into natural language query that was on the QuickSight. And what did they do? They added user permissions on every single bucket, on every single object, for every person who was querying at the front end of stuff. So you're saying, like, that's not going to limit exposure, right? There are models like this. There's no reason for anyone at the front end of this process to have permission. Simply not necessary. So restricting access just didn't happen. We never got to classifying the assets themselves. There are automated tools. We have that will actually go through and classify your data, and as a result, you can use those with policy-based management to limit the exposure. right? So why should a user have access to proprietary information in its tag as such? Redact. This is actually can be used on the front end and on the back end of generative AI. Redaction should happen, or filtering should happen at the prompt and at the response from the prompt. Very few people actually think about this, but there are many tools that are available. For example, a comprehend or transcribe, they literally do a speech to text or text classification on the prompt and filter out inappropriate words. Have you ever wondered how people take bad words out of bot conversations? That's how they do it. They simply point it at a comprehend or transcribe specifically and remove the bad words through policy based. As a security professional, that's something that you have to do because they're exposed. Now, there's some questions about video. How do we limit that? There are also services for that. Recognition, AWS service. It can take out pornography. It can take out inappropriate fights or essentially anything that's embedded inside that video as well. Now, the question becomes, how do we make sure that this happens? Well, it's an effective monitoring policy. So once you set it, it's not to forget it. Right? Not in the cybersecurity world. In the cybersecurity world, you have to actually have a monitoring going on to ensure that, for example, S3 bucket or storage buckets, etc., have the precise settings that have been set, policies, tagging, etc. They're all tools for this. We have on the AWS just part of a security brought on. That when the event occurs, someone manipulates the setting, we immediately go and rectify and remediate that. Thanks. Okay. Already talked about that. This is an example. I'll leave that in for later. Now, a lot of the truth is there's no real reason to take on these tasks yourself. There's no real reason to create natural language query bots or generative AI solutions. Again, we are releasing Amazon QuickSight. It will have natural language query built into RBI. Also has a solution already that very popular. So the question oftentimes becomes, why are we building these solutions out ourselves? It doesn't remove us from the requirement to have the policy that we sell, but it is something that can reduce your runtime as well. So, what about building the models themselves, right? We talked quite a bit about how other companies are building models. A lot of folks are out there building models today. They're fine tuning, they're hosting. From an enterprise or agency perspective, this becomes a very difficult thing to manage and do. Right? So your resources are spent hosting these products, building these products, and you're essentially becoming at risk for all attack vectors. So the question is, why do it? Again, there are products like AWS Bedrock or Amazon Bedrock, ChatGPT solutions from Microsoft, Google Spark, etc. All these solutions. They're very easy ways to focus these foundational models and take advantage of it. We release in our solution these file there, probably for each reality. But all the models that you want to take advantage of are available to you. There's no reason for you to go out and build those, not from a usage standpoint. Now, most of these solutions within ours will have one API endpoint that can be secured, and you should focus on security endpoints of WAS in order to eliminate possible burst exposure. But again, these solutions should really not be that difficult. What we really should do is have privacy controls, security controls embedded in them. So solutions like ours, Microsoft, et cetera, will have the tools built into these products that eliminate the responsibility from you, and therefore reducing your work to complete tasks that need to be done. This doesn't really eliminate the other things that we talked about. However, for a cybersecurity professional, you will be required to have the policies of monitoring, reaction, filtering, or restricting access. But at least you don't have to fight 1% that makes it as scary as possible. Okay, I'll just show you a little bit. Now, one thing that we are particularly proud of, I will talk about, is fine-tuning models. A lot of customers come to us and say, hey, I'm going to use my data to fine-tune one particular model. I'm going to use it to build out something that nobody else has. Okay, well, we can do RAG models very easily, right? We just take your data, provide it to the model with the prompt, and then get a response out of it that's trained for your data. However, what if we actually want to fine-tune these models in real ways, which takes your model and separates it from the original? We think that's a fairly important use case to provide. And so we're going to make those available in a completely separate segment of the deployment, but privately and only for your use. This provides quite a few advantages. For example, being able to train a model with your data. See, today, these hosted models don't actually use your data to retrain. That's what the RAG models. We're also implementing a solution where we can actually use your data in its location. So the more moving data around, that will come with automatic integration with vector databases that allow you to use vector databases as you see fit, perhaps with their type. So I'll stop there. I'll take a few questions. I know we're almost out of time. And any questions? Question made back. Maybe I'm out. I'll get this work. No. It's working. Yeah.
Hello, sir. Thank you. Well, I was thinking for the both presentation, I like it. And the first one, we talk about the identity. And I got from this one, the Amazon, for example, is using our AI. So it's getting everything like better. So basically, we invent or we design this work, we design Amazon, we design the AI, so helps Amazon. And we also design our food, our vehicle, all of them. But our human nature is designed to survive without these things. Like I can survive with a vehicle, or I can survive with the sun, water. But how's going to survive AI if we don't have, for example, electricity or internet? Like AI is helping us a lot, and it does. But how can we make a safer world, secure, so AI can still live in, like without something so valuable like an electrician program?
David, you're welcome to. So I think that when we deal with practicality, right, the tools that we're presenting today, for example, image gen, video gens, like those things are lower in playing for the vast majority. I mean, how many of you guys can draw an incredible in Van Gogh style? None, right? So the benefit is there. There's no question about it. I don't intend to sort of pontificate on whether or not this will be around, because I don't know. Whether life is stable with or without it, I think it's up to us. That's what they talk about realistically. Like, we have to make fundamental choices in the way that we manage our lives in order to maintain sustainability. And I don't mean sustainability like we didn't drink too much water today, or somebody threw away a plastic single-use container, or like, are we gonna be, are we making an environment that we, or I think
Okay, so thank you so much for your presentation. It's super informative, and I do have maybe like a more collaborative question. So I'm already out of enough. And so since we're talking about very fascinating stuff, you guys already important and big sense of the leading edge. But on the other hand, the new product that you guys already list back and address hallucination and part quality of, for example,
so yeah, I mean, so that's most of what we talked about here. The pipeline for an AI application, right, has to include additional products for quality, right? Not just exposure, right? That's what I focus my concerns on every day, which is how do I prevent exposure of IP or you know, intellectual property on customer data, etc. So those tools just have to be a part of the pipeline in order to assist the fact the large language models today. If you expose those openly on the internet or however you want, you'll have an experience like Microsoft's Tay. It's essentially allowed to run free within minutes was compromised with bias, right? So if you take anything away from the presentation today, I guess I would have limited it to a few things. Number one, like these things are gonna happen whether we like it or not. It has to require a solution. There are very practical and positive uses to it. However, it doesn't excuse us from our responsibilities as security professionals to put the layers of security inside and that are part of it. Microsoft, Amazon, are going to make those things easier for you, but you can't enforce it. Okay, thank you. All right.